James Jokum, host of Webcomics Reviews and Interviews. Tonight, reading is fundamental. So sit back, relax, and let the Geek Fest begin. Let's take a step back. Let's say you want to become the world's best camper. Would you, A, grab as much camping equipment as you could and strike out for the nearest woods, all by your lonesome? Or B, would you grab as many survival guides, Boy Scout manuals, and other books, read them from cover to cover, seek out expert advice on what they think the best techniques and tips are, as well as figure out what the best equipment is, then go out camping with a couple of friends, and then, and only then, would you strike out on your own? Bet you dollars to donuts that if you basically chose A, yeah, we wouldn't actually be holding this conversation because that's an easy way to get yourself killed. Let's get real. You go out in the woods by yourself and you're going to basically go after all the really things that you think are really good to eat and you're going to grab those red shiny berries. Yeah, you're pretty much going to die horribly. Or heck, you want to pet those cute little snakes with the diamond-shaped head? Yeah, anybody with experience in camping knows that I've just described two really incredibly potentially deadly situations. Yes, most people are going to basically go for B. They're going to basically read up on the information. They're going to get expert advice. They're going to find out from friends basically some really great stuff, and then and only then are they going to generally strike out on their own. Note the difference here. One of them is based off total ignorance, and one of them is based off a lot of really cool discussion. So I bet you anything that you're going to basically think B is actually the right choice, except unless, of course, you are a writer, in which case odds are you're going to go with A. I mean, straight up, it's sort of weird. There's a lot of people that when they get into hardcore writing, they start basically reading less and less. They think that if they read, they're going to copy other people. If they read, they're going to learn how to do things the wrong way. And yeah, there's people that think if they read, they're just going to get behind on. Here's the reality check. The more you write, the more you read. It's just a hand-in-hand type situation. This is a necessity. It's just like you point out with the camping thing. The more you basically camp, the better you're going to get at it, especially if you happen to be doing it with friends and they can correct your mistakes just as much as you correct theirs. But most importantly, reading is going to give you a lot of knowledge, and that's something you as a writer need. That is basically your bread and butter. That's everything about your career, and without that knowledge, on one level or another, you're pretty much screwed. First off, let's realize that writing is a business, first and foremost. If you don't have an idea what the current trends are, or you catch them a little on the late side, you're not going to be able to capitalize on them as far as the financial gain goes. That is, if you're at the beginning of a trend and you catch it, hey, you're going to be going blockbuster. You catch the tail end of the trend, even if you're doing it satirically, yeah, you're pretty much screwed. You're going to get all the bad reviews, low book sales, and it's just straight up, this is bad juju. So basically, you need to read just to figure out what the current trends are and where basically in the trend cycle they are. And keep in mind, by the way, there is a difference between trends and fad. If you can figure out what the difference is, great. You're going to figure out how to basically make some actual money. On the other hand, if you're basically chasing one fad after another, you're probably not going to do as well. So try to figure out what the difference between trends and fads are as quickly as absolutely possible. There's also the inspiration issue. If you don't read a book, you're not going to be able to be inspired by it. And there are actually two different ways to be inspired by a book, and you're going to want to experience both of them at some point. In fact, most people do. Obviously, if you encounter a really bad book, you're going to figure out how not to do things. You're going to figure out why this is bad, why there's too many characters, not enough characters, too much plot, not enough plot, too much description, not enough description. All that fun stuff that basically points out this is a really bad book. You may actually be inspired to actually rewrite the book to some degree just to see if you can fix all the problems that you see. And yeah, there's a lot of people who do that, and there's some really awesome books that come out. At the same time, you're going to pretty much be inspired by other books that basically try what they did just to see if you can pull it off. Again, that's perfectly legit. A certain level of copying is, well, flattering. Don't get too crazy with it, because plagiarizing is illegal. But if you can figure out where that sweet spot is and actually have a little bit of fun with what somebody else did, then you're going to find out that you're doing the right thing, and you're actually going to be doing a lot of really cool things. I mean, look at how many characters in comics are based off Superman. Every company pretty much has their variation of some sort of flying brick with energy projecting power, and that essentially is what Superman is. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, and sometimes it can actually be a good homage thing, but just try to keep in mind that you don't want to get too crazy. Look at Superman versus Shazam. Look at the court cases. So just keep in mind that you can be inspired by someone, but don't take it too far. But you can't be inspired by someone if, hey, guess what? You're not reading. So again, you want to become a better writer, get some inspiration on how to solve a bad book or to copy a good one, but hey, you need to actually be reading in the first place. You also need as many facts as you possibly can. I mean, let's get real. The more facts you have, the more realistic you are to make the situation be, and that you actually have something to actually make it solid. And the more solid stuff you have in your book, the better. You don't want to get too crazy with science fiction because if you get too crazy, it's just going to show, and it's going to show that you know nothing about the science. Sometimes that's okay, sometimes it's obnoxious, sometimes it's just your science is going to be so way off that people are going to be taken out of the story. And you don't want to be one of those kind of people. You want to actually have all your facts lined up. If you're going to be deviate from those facts, you're going to want to have reasons for the deviation. Basically, the more solid your blocks that you're basing your story off of are, the more likely people are going to go in and suspend their disbelief with you. You know, they've got some reasons to trust you, so hey, let's do it. So if I say you should also be doing a lot of history and psychology in there as well, just because, well, you as a writer should know how people react to things as well as have a good idea how they react to unknown factors. When you study your history, when you study your psychology, you get a lot of that information there and it's actually really useful. So the bottom line here is basically don't be a bad camper. Don't try to figure out doing how to camping the wrong way, the hard way, or you're going to end up getting killed. You're going to want to read because it's going to allow you to keep up on trends. It's going to show you how people did things. It's going to inspire you by either how people did them badly or how they did them great. And it's going to give you a lot of factual knowledge that you can base your stories off of. Bottom line, reading is something you need to do as a writer. Otherwise, you're going to die in the woods and nobody's really going to care. Hope that helps. Have a good evening.